Hey, I'm Bry Cox with BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. Today I have with me Motivational Speaker.
No, cut.
It's like, that isn't even... Once we know the subject, it sounds like a dig. And I was...
Let's move on to the subject and then we'll come back to this. I'm not a motivational speaker.
No, okay. My friend Trajan King, and I have him in here because I've been thinking about quite a bit. Every time there's like a new fad, a new speaker coming on the circuit, and there's tons of them, these motivational speakers, I kind of roll my eyes.
Tony Robbins in the news this week?
And that's why, because Tony Robbins is in the news this week. He had a bunch of people run through fire, and then they burn their feet.
Yeah, they didn't run fast enough,
yeah,
I guess.
And hearing like people on the news, and they go, well, you know, if the thing is if you just believe you're going to don't burn your feet, then you don't burn your feet. And so probably they just didn't believe hard enough. Or I even heard a lady say, she took a class years ago, and she's like, well, I burned my feet, but I didn't want to say anything because I felt like I wasn't doing it right.
Right. And the article I read said that the people that worked for Tony that were preparing the coals, you're supposed to get the coals all hot in a fire, and then you spread them out, and then let them cool down for a little while.
Right. There's actually a science to it. It's not really mental. It's more science.
Yeah. So you wait till they're cool enough, and then you walk across.
On dewy grass, and that gets water, and then you get ash on your feet, and they're spread out enough.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with your mental abilities.
Yeah.
To be able to walk. I've actually done a walk. I went to a conference a couple years ago where we were going to walk on coals, but the coal guy couldn't make it or something. And so they decided to walk on broken glass.
Oh, great.
And so we all walked on broken glass, and there weren't any problems because everybody was just really mentally strong.
Oh, yeah.
We were all just mentally prepared because
But they also are very careful as to what kind of glass they put in there. They don't put the bottoms of bottles in. They're very specific, and because otherwise it'll cut your feet.
Yeah, they tell you how to walk slowly, and where to put your feet and how to do it correctly so you don't cut yourself.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with like being mentally prepared.
Right. And so here's my thing this week is that there's so many of these guys all the time. It's a $12 billion a year business, this motivational speaking. And I even get clients. Maybe I shoot their family, I shoot their little kids, and then the mom will call me and she's like, I really need you to shoot some videos for me because I've decided I need to be a motivational speaker. And my first thought is always, what have you done to be a motivational? But then it's like, you don't have to be anything to be a motivational
decide,
speaker.
like being a life coach.
Just decide, yeah. It's my new thing. I just want to be this. And I don't know, like there's some people I will really recommend and books I really recommend, but I don't necessarily call them motivational speakers or life coaches or things like that. For me, it's always action. Action is the answer.
Right. If you're a psychologist and you want to be a life coach, or you've run a business before, you want to be a business coach.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But there are far too many people that just decide that that's what they're going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be a life coach, even though I'm 17 and I just graduated from high school and I don't really have any life experience. Or I've never run a business. I want to be a business coach and coach you how to make a successful business. That kind of stuff just drives me crazy because I know they're leading people astray.
Yeah.
Telling people advice and they have no experience with that advice.
Yeah, and this might be a little controversial, but here's my belief is I feel like a lot of people that are going to these seminars and buying these books are kind of looking for something. And what they're looking for, I actually feel like they would get in being more religious. But religious has its own stigma. And so it's like, well, over here is this other thing, which also talks about happiness and also talks about being whatever, content, successful, positive thinking. And I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's the same thing as religion, but just boxed up in a different category without the label and without the church to go with it.
Yeah, but I feel like people would be better off just, if you're Jewish, getting more involved in your Jewish church. If you are whatever, Christian, or getting more involved in your Christian church. And I feel like action is the biggest thing, not follow my heart. I feel like those are the two diverging roads, follow my heart or action. And action, doing the right thing, is always, same thing for my business. My business has less to do with me positively going, oh, I sure hope that if I just read that book, The Secret, and I think about the money I'm going to make this month, that it's just going to come. It's like, no, what's going to make me money is me, however I feel, getting up, working, making calls, doing action.
Right. That's why if you're religious and you've read the Bible, the scriptures talk about faith without works is dead, because you actually have to work. And from a business standpoint, I agree with you. So I went to this conference a couple of years ago, and I thought it was going to be like a business training conference, and it was 2 days of motivational speakers. And everybody gets pumped up, like, I'm going to go work on my business. I'm going to grow. I'm going to double next year. But the problem is, you get pumped up at a conference like that. You go home and you sit down at your desk and you think, okay, what am I going to do differently? What did I learn at the conference to do differently? Oh, I learned to be motivated about what I'm doing. But then you don't do anything differently. The emotions subside and you're back to where you started, because you haven't actually learned any new skills. You haven't learned what to do differently. And then it actually increases your anxiety, because now you're frustrated. Because you're hyped up, you're motivated, you want to do well, you have the intention to do better, but you haven't learned new skills to match that motivation, and that creates anxiety because you can't actually get to where the motivation wants you to go.
Excellent point. I've been to photography conferences where someone tries to be like a self-esteem, motivational type motivator. We're like, how much did you make last year? Let's double that and write it on the board, and let's just all agree we're going to do it. And I'm like, I don't know what that's going to do with anything.
Yeah, like that would be great, but tell me how to do that.
Yeah, and what have you done to have done that yourself? Yeah,
that's why I'm a huge believer in education over motivation.
Yeah.
The best motivator is actually having success. So if you can educate yourself and learn how you can be successful, even just a little bit, to keep yourself motivated and keep having success, then you don't need a motivational speaker, because every time you get a win, every time somebody pays you, that's a motivator. You don't have to be motivation. Trying to motivate yourself or have some external person motivate you and your company. If you're having success, that's all you need, because that'll get you up in the morning. Yep.
Goals, action, getting paid. That'd probably be, for a business anyway, that'd be a great plan. There you go. We're going to sell this for $8 million, this video.
Right. Are you motivated enough to buy it?
Yeah.
And then I would add what you said to wrap that all in continued education.
And
to always be learning something and applying that in your business. So if you go to a conference, you listen to a podcast, you read an article online, you think, okay, what can I take from that and apply it to my business? If you get home from the conference and there's nothing you can actually apply it to your business concretely that's going to get you success, even a small win, then don't go back, because it's not helping you. No matter how great you feel, don't go back.
Excellent. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Trajan's website, invinciblestartup.com. My website, BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. All right, until next time, America.